have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a 3 with 0.1 seconds to play. Prayer answered.
But hold on, it's almost halftime.
Been building up for quite a while. Kind of like baseball season has been building up for me, though this was definitely one that I had on my schedule. We all had it on our schedule. It's the one you look forward to. You want to see Kentucky come to Fayetteville. You know you want to see that every single year. You might not like to admit it, but anywhere Kentucky goes turns into the biggest game of the year on that campus. And you can see that when Georgia draws a full Stegman Coliseum for their loss to the Wildcats, when South Carolina, a team that was not playing well on a Tuesday night, draws a full house to Colonial Life Arena. And, hey, obviously now it doesn't take Kentucky to sell out Bud Walton Arena. This is just one of 5 sellouts already for this year's Arkansas Razorback basketball team. But make no bones about it, up until tomorrow when the game is done, the Arkansas-Kentucky game is the biggest game of the year for the Razorbacks. I don't know if I'd put that on the Wildcats yet, not when you play against Louisville year in and year out, and you open against the number 1 team in the season, at least preseason, in Michigan State, get the victory in that. But this is one you've had circled, Ty. You had the countdown going for over 100 days now, I feel. And this is not the game that decides the course of the season, but my goodness, is it a big one for Eric Musselman's team, and it should be a really entertaining basketball game as well.
He didn't want to overhype it, but at the same time, like, you heard him like smack a little bit and was like, did that a few bit, and then he's like, and he mentioned it's kind of like the Yankees coming to town or something like that. Right. Everyone gets jazzed up when Kentucky comes to town, regardless if you're in the SEC or not. That's the mentality that they bring. You mentioned earlier this week, South Carolina packed 18 in their arena. It's not. I know it's Williams-Brice Stadium for football. I don't know what their basketball arena is, but South Carolina's not good this year. But it shows what happens when the Wildcats come to town, regardless of how your basketball team is doing that season. There's just such a buzz, such an excitement when you have a caliber of team that Kentucky that's coming in your arena. And this is not the same Anthony Davis team. This is not the same 2015 Kentucky team that only lost 1 game to Wisconsin in the Final Four. They have glaring weaknesses that we've seen so far, and they lost to Evansville, Ohio State, Utah, South Carolina, and there may be one other team that I'm forgetting on that list. But this is still a game that Arkansas would love to win, and that fans would go berserk if they were able to pull out a victory on Saturday afternoon.
A lot of ups and a lot of downs already for Kentucky. They're 12-4, 3-1 in the SEC. They have 2 more losses than Arkansas does, yet they do have some pretty big wins. And that's what makes what's been a roller coaster for them so surprising. To defeat Michigan State and Louisville in the same 2-month stretch, but then also at the same time have some tough losses. Teams you really shouldn't be losing to, like Evansville and South Carolina. So it is definitely a Kentucky team that is susceptible. And there are – look, we could go 2 ways in this conversation, all right? We can talk about the excitement surrounding the game and the secondary market, the triple market for tickets. I mean, Musselman's got friends that he grew up playing rec league basketball with coming out all the way from La Jolla, California. Probably their first ever visit to the city of Fayetteville, and maybe even their first ever visit to the state of Arkansas. This is the topic of the show pretty much the entire 2 hours, and it's not just this show, but it's it's every other show across Arkansas. Tomorrow's basketball game has a football feel to it. You know, we've talked about it all week, even tried to remind you that there was a midweek game to get ready for, and Arkansas certainly was ready for Vanderbilt. So we could go tie the direction of hype, or we could go the direction of game preview, you know, what the game actually comes down to, whether a win or a loss for Arkansas or Kentucky. So maybe some of the callers and texters can take us in the direction they'd like to. 877-377-6963 on the Cherokee Casino hotline. I'll leave it up to you, Ty, which way we want to take this discussion, at least for the next 5-6 minutes. Which way do you want to go?
Well, you mentioned the tickets, Phil. I saw Bobby Swafford, 5 News, put this out. The cheapest available ticket on StubHub right now is $110. That's upper deck.
That's the upper deck.
$184 is the cheapest lower seating that you could get. And we already got someone on Facebook Live, Adam, asking if there are any cheap tickets available he'd pay. But I was looking last night with my buddy Tim McGuire over at Bell Point. These tickets are like, if you go to StubHub, there is not a lot of tickets left. There's not a lot at all. So it's going to continue through the end of the night. And then this morning, I saw the announcement yesterday, students are allowed to start lining up at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. 6 a.m. That's like you said, that is a football-type feel. And I know...
You know for sure, by the way, Eric Musselman is going to be making an appearance
100%.
at the student line early in the morning. What does he get up at, like 4? He barely sleeps these days.
If the marketing team is smart there, they'll have the cheerleading squad bring food and breakfast and then maybe lunch because the game's not till 3. The students can't enter till 1 o'clock. And then I'm assuming some Razorback fans. I mean, we've already talked about the tailgates that I'm going to. That's starting at 10. I got another buddy that's having a tailgate at his house. So there's just going to be a palpable buzz tomorrow around Bud Walton Arena and just on campus. And it's, like you said, it has a football-type feel to it. And I think Kentucky, and maybe if you had a top-5 team coming here, unfortunately Auburn is the only one that could probably make that jump. That's on a Tuesday night, which is kind of a bummer. But it just feels, it's a football-type feel right now, and you labeled it perfectly there.
Well, so that means you'll be able to tailgate, right? If you're going to tailgate for your bad football team, you better tailgate for your really good basketball team. With tip-off tomorrow set for 3, we've got the broadcast starting at 2:30 with Chuck and Coach Z. Had Dick Vitale on yesterday. Really enjoyed that interview. Some people got upset on Dickie V on Twitter for saying that the BBN brings all kinds of energy wherever it is they go. It just happens to be a fact, whether you like it or not. They're not the New York Yankees of college basketball, nonetheless. I mean, there are probably some other programs you'd put at least on the same level. Duke is one of them. Kansas would be another. North Carolina. Even as bad as the Tar Heels are now, teams are marking it down. They get wins over North Carolina, and fans still come out to see them. But Kentucky's definitely the New York Yankees of the SEC. So just revel in the ability to get one of those games on a Saturday instead of a 8 o'clock on a Wednesday or 6 o'clock on a Tuesday, and let's have some fun with this. And it's not the biggest game of the year. It just is the biggest game of the week. I'd be interested to see, once the game is done, how quickly, and this would be a nice little jab to Kentucky if you get the victory over them, hand out the scouting reports for Mississippi State right when the buzzer is done. Don't they sometimes hand the scouting reports for the upcoming opponent to the players when they're walking off the court after a victory? Get those babies ready in the last minute and then hand them off to each player after they're done with the handshake line, as if to say, you know what? Maybe we'll see you guys in Nashville. Okay? See you then.
I know Muss in the Arkansas marketing department, they're giving. Have you seen the shirts they're giving away tomorrow to the first 1,500 students? These shirts are awesome. It's got an Arkansas, and it's got Kentucky, and it's a battle in the palace or something like that. And what you mentioned with the scouting report is when we get to talk to the players after the game, and Eric Musselman as well, they talk at least for a question or two about their next opponent, because that's how quickly you're talking. They cycle over to that next game. So when they're in that locker room, they kind of do like a debrief, not a debrief, a little briefing on the next opponent, like directly after the game. It's incredible. And I remember sitting in the media room, and I'm forgetting the game that they initially told us that. Just the entire media room was just kind of in shock. They're like, y'all already looking? Like, you can understand tonight or something like that night. Let's say Saturday night, they send them some stuff via email or Twitter. Not Twitter, but text message or whatever. But, like, directly following the game. That's when they're getting it. That's mind-blowing to me. I have not heard a coach do that. Maybe it's more prominent. Maybe it's more prevalent in college basketball. It's the first time hearing of it when you give the athletes directly after the game the next opponent's scouting report.
Got a great place if you're looking to watch the game, or even if you're going to the game and heading back to the fort afterwards, because tomorrow they are celebrating 1 year on the Avenue at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge at 906 Garrison Avenue. It's been 1 year, so they've got happy hour going all day. That includes the 3-course meal that won the winning entry to the Taste of Fort Smith. That's the blueberry vinaigrette chicken salad, 906 wings, and the Swedish cream strawberry parfait for just $25. And you'll also get a chance to taste the Taste of Fort Smith's winning plates all day on Saturday on the Avenue at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. And, oh, by the way, Ty Richardson, the king of wings, says they are
black and blue.
Dank.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
They're dank. So I'm going to use a little bit of Ty's language. 877-377-6963. We are right back.
Shooters shoot. You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
That's what I always find fascinating about not just media but fans. The guy sitting in section 212, upper deck corner, third row from the top. He is certain the guy that is 4 feet from the play on the floor has missed it when he's 3 rows from the top in the corner. You know, officiating is all about angles.
I mean, what better angle do you need than up there? You can see the whole thing, Tommy. You can see all of it from up there.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
The 2019s must go. Save up to $15,000 now at Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford. 2019 Ford Expedition with the all-new body style. Now $15,000 off. 2019 Ford Escapes. Only $24,230. And 2019 Ford F-150 4x4s. Over $10,000 off. The 2019s must go. Up to $15,000 off at Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Sallisaw.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
Only one movie is roaring into the new year.
Make way for the king.
Critics rave The Gentleman is a raucous gangster epic.
There's only one rule in this jungle. When the lion's hungry, he eats.
It's a monumentally good time. 5 stars. And they proclaim it's the first great film of 2020.
Oh, it's warming up now, isn't it?
Starring Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, Henry Golding, Michelle Dockery, with Colin Farrell and Hugh Grant. The Gentleman. Rated R. Under 17, not permitted without parent. In theaters January 24th.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
This is Mark Hurst. How important is your smile? I recently read a study that said 61% of adults are attracted to someone by their smile alone. Another said that 48% of adults have untagged themselves from a photo on Facebook because of their smile. At Hurst Family Dental Care, we want you to be proud of your smile. Give us a call at 474-1972 and let us talk to you about improving your smile with cosmetic dentistry options ranging from in-office bleaching to braces to porcelain crowns and veneers. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
The new year is here, and Art's Barbecue and Burgers is ready with healthy choices on their menu. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has smoked chicken that will melt in your mouth, a variety of salads to choose from, plus a grilled chicken breast that's always a smart option. And use the Waiter app to have the full menu at Art's Barbecue and Burgers brought to your home or business. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, giving you healthy choices to start the new year off right. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, next to Aaron's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Bird on the rookie Stewart. Larry finds a way.
Whoa! Ellison was shadowing Bird, and Bird got the shot over the top of Ellison, and Joe Klein just came storming in.
877-377-6963. Calls and texted it. What did you think about the uniform that basketball is debuting at the, tomorrow's Kentucky game? That's how maybe you can tell that it's a little bit more of a hyped game, because I have never seen an Arkansas uniform of any kind. And I'll talk about the big three sports, including women's basketball. Other than the helmet for football, I don't remember seeing a Razorback, an actual hog, whether it be front-facing, side-facing, backwards-facing, or whatever, on the front of a uniform. And it's, I don't know if you want to call it like a break in tradition or whatever like that, but it is a much different look when you see that Razorback on the front of the uniform rather than Arkansas or the word Razorbacks.
Can I be unmillennial for a sec and say that I didn't like the uniforms? I'm just, you know how caught up I am in throwback stuff, and
you're wearing a throwback T-shirt today.
Yeah, the 94, just a 94 T-shirt from that Final Four national championship. But, like, I initially saw – I don't hate them. I'm not going to sit here and say, but they've had some terrible uniform decisions over the years where you're just like, how did that get passed through the –
Yeah.
Like, how did that get passed? Like, how?
They feel like an acquired taste to
Yeah.
it, you know? Like, it might take a game or two to get used to. Nor should these be like a uniform that's worn all that often.
Correct. They're not bad, and they could do a lot worse. But I'm so – I hone in on the old throwback threads and what they've been wearing this season for the most part. I've really enjoyed, and I would have thought, and I guess they just wanted to do something special for Kentucky. And if the play, you know what, we can talk about what we think about it. We can talk about what the fans think about it. But the players like it, and they play well in them. You can't fault them, right? Like that's
right. If the players like them, then they'll
well,
feel good in them theoretically.
Yeah. And if they play well and they win, then we're gonna be clamoring on Monday. Wear those uniforms again.
That's right.
That's just how it is. Our opinion is irrelevant when it comes to that. It's about what the players and recruits do. That's also big. Like if recruits see that and they like it, then keep on throwing them on. And then if they don't like it and the players don't like it, probably shouldn't wear them again. Phil.
Hacker and Harrison asked on the text line if Arkansas used a uniform like that in the Nike tournament a few years back. Was that was the tournament in Portland? The Phil Knight tournament. Everybody was too focused on hating Bill Walton on TV then.
They played
caring what they were wearing.
UConn, Oklahoma, and they lost to guess who? North Carolina.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing that uniform. That was like 4 years ago.
Let me see if I can look that up. I remember that they had some clean looking uniforms that. Because that was the Portland, Oregon tournament, right? Right, the Nike one in Portland.
Yes.
Okay, it's 2018. Right?
PK80, I think it was called.
Okay. PK. Let me see if I can look this up. Great radio here. Just me.
Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, look. I mean, Kentucky just got destroyed in the second half by South Carolina on Tuesday. They lost the game 81-78. Kentucky had a 14-point lead in the second half. Well, they couldn't keep Carolina off the glass. They couldn't value the basketball and couldn't stop turning the basketball over. Kentucky committed 15 turnovers in that ball game and were outscored in points off turnovers in the second half, 24-12. That accounted for a little less than half of Carolina's second half points. This, to me, Ty, is where Arkansas really has a good opportunity to expose a possible flaw in the Wildcats and also accentuate one of the things that they've become really, really good at. Now, all year long they've been very good at converting opponents' turnovers into points. That's to the tune of outscoring opponents off turnovers by 8 points per game. 19 scored by Arkansas, 11 by Kentucky. But also Arkansas, they just do not turn the ball over right now very much. Kentucky is really having a tough time against SEC teams holding onto the basketball. They're averaging over 13 turnovers in the 4 SEC games. Arkansas at a league best, under 8 turnovers per game in SEC play. So this, to me, sure, Kentucky's got the edge on the glass. And if Arkansas out-rebounds Kentucky, I'll go jump in the lake. But that doesn't mean that they're going to lose.
Yeah.
It doesn't at all mean that they're going to lose, because better than any team in the SEC by far, and certainly a lot better than Kentucky in recent games, the Razorbacks do not turn it over. They steal the ball away and convert that into points. This, to me, Ty, is where Arkansas really has an advantage.
So if you look at Kentucky's guard play, and by the way, back to Hacker's question, they wore black jerseys for the PK80 tournament. It did have the Razorback on in front, but they were black jerseys, so kind of similar, but these ones are white, obviously. So they have 3 underclassmen that are predominantly handing the ball. Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Quickley, and Ashton Hagans. Hagans and all these guys all average double figures. They're all around 13 points per game, but they don't have a Jimmy Witt who's constantly handing the ball. Mason Jones, a junior. You have, and Jalen Harris is now a junior, I believe. So you have some older guys for Arkansas who aren't necessarily as talented, but it seems like they've been not making mistakes. And one of the questions that the media asked, and I think it was Scotty Bordelon of Whole Hog asked Eric Musselman yesterday, Nevada had a similar type of situation where they didn't turn the ball over as well. That was just very uncharacteristic when they had a lot of turnovers in games. And with them getting pounded on the glass, the rebounding differential, points in the paint, you have to make it up in other areas.
That's how you mitigate being a shorter
correct
team that's theoretically, will get pushed around on the glass. That's how you mitigate it, by accentuating what you do really well.
And so what do you do really well? As Phil mentioned, you turn people over. You don't turn the ball over. You take advantage of fast break situations. You have a really good defense. You have the best three-point shooting defense in college basketball. They have what they have been able to do is like, yes, these are our weaknesses, but how are you going to stop us from doing this? Musselman said that like every post-game and pre-game pressers. Like, everyone always wants to talk about how we have to adjust to them. Well, what about when we get 5 guards on the floor and we force 4 straight turnovers and you can't score? What are you going to do? How are you going to react to that? Are you going to keep staying big and keep turning the ball over? Are you going to switch? How's that going to work? And so far, at 14-2, the majority of the time, Arkansas's won out. They've used their system, they've used what they do well, and they beat opponents. And they're an overtime away and 2 points away from being undefeated using that system right now.
Now, here's where Kentucky might have an edge. I mean, they've got a deep bench. So let's say Ashton Hagans has a little bit of an off game, or Tyrese Maxey doesn't have his shot. They had an Emmanuel Quickley come off the bench to put up 20 against South Carolina, and he's their second leading scorer, just under 14 per game. They also get to the foul line a lot. So Kentucky is able to use their strength and their quickness to create mismatches and get to the foul line where they outscore opponents by almost 7 points per game. Even though they lost against Carolina, they attempted 36 free throws, made 25 of them, and they are a really good free throw shooting team, best in the SEC at just short of 77%. And do not put Quickley on the foul line because he's 5th in the nation, 93% from the line, and that's one of 4 players that are averaging close to 80%, either 79% of the foul line or better. And it's not that the Hogs don't get to the foul line, but nobody gets to the line in the SEC better than Kentucky, and that's because of their athleticism, their speed, and their size.
Arkansas,
so that, to me, is where Kentucky's got an edge.
Mm-hmm. Arkansas has shown the ability on the road this season to hit crucial free throws. Now, I know they didn't take advantage against Western Kentucky and others, but in the SEC play, you miss one against LSU, and you shoot, I think it was 81% on the road against Ole Miss. So hopefully they'll improve their free throw shooting at home, because in this past game, against Vanderbilt, they weren't that good from the line, and you hope that if this is going to be a tie ball game, like many people think it is, they can't lose that particular area. They need to stack up with Kentucky in terms of free throws. And it's kind of weird and uncharacteristic for Cal's team, Phil, to be a good free throw shooting team. You think back to 2007 with Memphis, why did they lose against Kansas? Because they couldn't hit free throws down the stretch in that national championship. And you can point to other teams that he's coached over the years where free throws, they've missed crucial free throws, and that's been a big issue. So that doesn't seem to be an issue with this basketball team. But this team, I guess, this is not what was the year that they lost to Robert Morris that Arkansas beat him when they had Archie? That would have been
that was at Robert Morris in the NIT.
That was
just comedy.
So that would have been that would have been 2012, I believe. I think it was 2012. And this team isn't as bad at that, but it's not. This is not one of the better teams he's had. Now maybe they'll just flip around.
Bad.
They're not bad. They're not bad.
No.
But this is not the Anthony Davis team. This is not the Karl Anthony Towns team. This is somewhere in the middle between the Robert Morris team and some of those teams. So this is a winnable game on Saturday. And again, BPI for ESPN, KenPom, people are picking Arkansas. Like not just statistical ranges and stuff. People are coming out and saying Arkansas is going to win this game, which, considering they've lost 7 straight, it's kind of odd to hear that, man.
Yeah, and one area of concern for me, it's not necessarily the rebounding. It's how are you going to be able to defend 6'11" Nick Richards, 6'10" E.J. Montgomery, and Nate Sestina if he does come in off the bench and gets the ball in the post, because these guys are 6'11" and 6'10". Maybe you get 2 of them on the court at the same time. I know the Hogs have been good at defending the paint, but Richards is really good. He's hitting 68% of his shots. That's 5th highest field goal percentage in the SEC. And I don't know. Arkansas plays man-to-man. That's not going to change. How do you guard this? How do you guard this for an entire 40 minutes without a guy like Richards taking over a game in which if Kentucky – I think that's what Cal's going to try to do. They're going to try to dump it into Richards, and if Arkansas sags in there, they've been so good with those busy hands, knocking the ball out of opposing centers and forwards' hands, creating turnovers. Then the big thing next becomes whether or not Maxey and Quickly are able to catch it outside, either hit the 3 or drive. But you're going to have to defend against Nick Richards. We got Aaron Torrance coming after the break from Kentucky Sports Radio. He knows the Wildcats better than most, and we've been counting down to this game with him. We'll talk with AT after the break.
Midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime with Bill Elson and Ty Richardson.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here with a better way to drive at Rath Auto Resources. New year, new you? That's a lot of pressure. How about new year, new ride? Now we can make that happen. Just resolve to start driving better in the Rath Road Ready vehicle that's perfect for you, like a 2018 Toyota Corolla LE or 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Your choice, just $14,993, and make no payments till spring. If you're like me and your holiday was sponsored by your credit card, that should give you more breathing room than losing a pant size. Waiting on a tax refund? Ask one of our non-commissioned solution specialists how you can use your W-2 to start driving better now. If you're keeping your current ride, our Meineke Car Care Center is there to make sure your car outlasts that new gym membership with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires and a basic oil change for only $24.95. Start driving better today with no payments till spring at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half price. And all beers on tap are half price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. Indeed will also give you this sticky frog, which will suddenly leap and stick to the face of the perfect hire. Okay, there's no sticky frog. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire and try skills tests for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, so Aiden's coffee spot is really undope. They asked what they can get me, and I'm like, the code to the bathroom. Stop trying to sell me something.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Also, the Wi-Fi password was too hard to spell, and I can, totally spell stuff.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
They didn't have any cups out for the free cream, so I just drank it out of the pitcher.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Arkansas is heading to Monday night for the chance to repeat. They'll count the basket at the end for Corliss. Monday night, the Razorbacks looking for the repeat.
College football, college basketball writer extraordinaire Aaron Torres, host of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast and also Sunday nights Fox Sports Radio. Works at Kentucky Sports Radio. And AT, we have been counting down to tomorrow's game since the schedule came out. Ty Richardson was so fired up that Arkansas finally got a Saturday home game against Kentucky that his top practically blew off. He looks red over there. He looks like he can barely contain himself. I know you're fired up about it. So here we are. It's the day before the Super Bowl.
Is this one of these Jimmy Buffett Fridays where he's wearing like a Hawaiian shirt? And I could totally see that happening. I'll say this, guys. I am incredibly pumped up. There was a brief moment in time where I actually thought I was going to be able to get down to the game, but unfortunately my Saturday radio show, we couldn't make it work. But I know that you guys will be yelling and screaming your heads off, and I know it's going to be a great environment, and it's going to be fun. And I'll be a lot of miles away, but I cannot wait to watch.
So my thoughts on this game, and I wonder what you think and about these and then your own. To me, I think Arkansas really can expose one of the issues for Kentucky of late, that they've just had some trouble holding onto the basketball. And where Arkansas has been better than anybody in the SEC is valuing the ball, converting turnovers into points, and that's how you make up the difference in getting out rebounded every single game. I think that's where the Hogs can take advantage of the Wildcats tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's so interesting because even though Kentucky, listen, we know how they recruit, all that stuff, McDonald's All-Americans, blah, 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 blah. I think stylistically it's actually a pretty good matchup for Arkansas. I mean, Kentucky very much relies on its guards, a lot like Arkansas. They don't have the traditional size down low that they've had. Now, they do have a kid named Nick Richards who's playing really well, but he's been in foul trouble. He only played 24 minutes the other night in their loss to South Carolina. And so what you're basically saying then is if you can get a quick 1 or 2 on Nick Richards, Kentucky's a completely different team. I actually looked up the stats. In the 3 games that he's played the fewest minutes, they've actually lost. Mm-hmm. And so I only bring that up because if they get a foul or 2 on him early, and I wonder if Coach Muss is listening to me here, but then you're basically taking a bunch of juniors and seniors at Arkansas. I know Isaiah Joe's only a sophomore, and putting them against freshmen and sophomores against Kentucky in a loud, crazy, hostile environment against a team, by the way, that not only has more experience and not only is at home, but as you said, Phil, thrives on the defensive end of the court. And so for that reason, I think that stylistically, even though Kentucky, quote-unquote, is the ranked team and Arkansas somehow is unranked coming into this one, I think stylistically it's a reasonably good to good matchup for Arkansas.
Talking with Aaron Torres about Kentucky and Arkansas here on Halftime. AT, I heard a lot of hype about that Nate Sestina kid coming over from Bucknell, but it doesn't look like that he's necessarily lived up to his potential. What did you hear in the offseason? What do you think about his play so far in the 2019-2020 season?
Yeah, it's crazy because he actually played his best game of the year at the game that I was at when Kentucky played Ohio State in Vegas. What I would say, Ty, in general is this. is that I'm always skeptical of players transferring up from the low major level to the high major level and having success. I think, ironically, and I know it's something that probably you guys don't talk about a ton, but I think that's what North Carolina is struggling with this year, is they had a couple guys that put up huge stats at a previous stop, and they get to the ACC and they're just not good enough to play there. And so that's no disrespect to Nate Sestina, but it kind of comes down to it's a major step up in competition. He's done an incredible job of changing his body and his physique, but there are limitations to him athletically that are the reason that he started his career at Bucknell. So he's a traditional pick and pop 4. He can get hot, but he is also a guy, you can ask any Kentucky fan, they will tell you, he can be exposed defensively. On the glass, he's good, but he's not crazy athletic. He's another one that I just think, you start to look at what are the types of players that give Arkansas trouble. He is not one of them, and again, kind of a place where Arkansas can maybe take advantage.
So Auburn fans might get mad at this, but I think the best rivalry for my money in the SEC is Alabama and LSU. Basketball-wise, AT, it used to be Kentucky and Arkansas. What do you think the best basketball rivalry is in the SEC at this moment?
It's a great question, Ty. My only thought is that because basketball rosters flip so fast, these things change. Last year, the vitriol, and much of it was in my Twitter mentions, between Kentucky and Tennessee was insane. Those are two states that border each other. Those are two teams that were both in the top 10 when they played. And then, unfortunately, there were some injuries that took some of the buzz out of the late-season matchups with those two teams. So I think it changes year to year. But I will tell you this, Ty. You mentioned Kentucky Sports Radio, one of the places that I work for. And, the guy who runs that website is called Matt Jones. He is a very popular radio host in that state.
Not here.
One of the... Yeah, okay, well, maybe this will change that, because I remember the first time I was in Lexington, him and I just grabbing a bite to eat or whatever, and I remember him saying, man, at some point Arkansas is going to figure it out, and that's going to be scary, because he said, I used to go to the SEC every SEC tournament every year when they first got into that league. They had so many fans there. They were such a threat, blah, 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 this and that. And so, listen, Matt's got a lot of issues with a lot of people. I don't know what he did in Arkansas, but I'm just telling you, he was aware that Arkansas was a sleeping giant. We'll see if they can get there over the next couple of years, but that they were the closest thing to what Kentucky, when they're at their best, they're as close to Kentucky as anybody in the league. And I'll say selfishly, I hope this turns into a really fun rivalry over these next 3 or 4 years.
Let's get a look at Auburn right now. Do they have to worry a little bit? Not just that a loss at Alabama, but they got their doors blown off by Alabama. Saw that the Crimson Tide attempted 37 free throws as they win 83-64, and it's not like Auburn gets an easy game tomorrow because they're at Florida. Got to deal with Kerry Blackshear. Auburn got anything to worry about right now?
No, I don't think so. I think it's totally fair to question the validity of their early season. They didn't play a ton of big-name opponents. I don't think they even played a Power 5 team until, the end of December when they played NC State. But, what I was saying to somebody else the other day, guys, is there is something to be said about a team that in this season, when Stephen F. Austin is beating Duke, when Kentucky lost to Evansville, there's something to be said about a team that played inferior competition and took care of them. I would also say, guys, I think Alabama is a team to watch out for over these next couple weeks. It's really interesting. I had their coach, Nate Oates, on my podcast in the preseason, and he was adamant that he believed that he had an NCAA tournament team in Tuscaloosa. And it was kind of jarring to hear a first-year coach be so confident about the guys that he had. It took a while to get them going, Phil, but they're one of these teams, they're really kind of into the new age analytics. If you guys watch the NBA, and I know you do, the Rockets kind of have this belief that the best shots are either three-pointers or layups at the basket. Layups at the basket obviously lead to a lot of foul attempts. And so I bring it up because as I watched Alabama the other night, and I actually led my latest podcast with this, is that I think that win by Alabama is more an indictment that they may be turning a corner and they may be more of a threat in the SEC than we realize than it is that Auburn has some big, sweeping, massive problem.
So, it is a crazy year in college basketball. Absolutely crazy. Yep. I saw in The Athletic their I know that it's way too early for bracketology, but right now they're looking at like 12 of 14 Big Ten teams going to the NCAA tournament. I mean, I think that would be the most ever from one league. Not like it's going to happen, but to me right now, even in the middle of January, that's a display that this is one of the craziest college basketball years that you can remember.
So that would be a record because the record is 11 Big East teams in 2011. And don't know if you remember the UConn Huskies with Kemba Walker won it that year, baby. And actually, UConn finished actually 9th in the Big East that year, but they were better than that, but that's neither here nor there. So it's crazy. Listen, I'll tell you this, guys. The 20-game league schedule is going to catch up with the Big Ten. They're not getting 12 teams. I think 9 or 10 is realistic, which is still insane for a 14-team league, but I actually thought it was really interesting. I heard Bruce Pearl this week on John Rothstein's podcast, and he basically said that he likes the SEC staying at 18 league games while all the other leagues are going to 20. The ACC is there this year, Big Ten this year, Big East next year, because he just feels like there can be a point of no return where it's too many games. And so I only bring it up because some of those teams are going to get cold. They're going to lose 8 out of 9 or 7 out of 10 or whatever it is. But it is a crazy, crazy, crazy season. But I'm with you, Phil. I don't think that 12 end up getting in when it's all said and done.
AT, before we let you know, I know that your travel plans fell through before you were going to come down this weekend, and I know you deflected the blame towards me, so I got people texting me and tweeting at me, why isn't AT, what'd you screw up? Why isn't he coming down this weekend? So if they keep on winning, when are you going to make it to Fayetteville, man?
Oh, first of all, I apologize. I didn't know the social media storm that was going to come your way. Dude, I didn't know I was that big of a... Listen, I knew I was big in Fayetteville. I didn't know I was that big.
Bigger every day.
So, it's unbelievable. So, I'll say this, is that obviously I do my Saturday radio show, my recap show. We do cover the national scene, and I'll just say leaving in the middle of the NFL playoffs was going to be tough. So I hope to get down. Maybe it'll be midweek. Maybe once football season ends, it can be on a Saturday. But I want to apologize to all of Fayetteville. But most importantly, I want to apologize to Ty, who took a beating publicly for saying that, because I kind of tongue-in-cheek said it was his fault. I would also say this. There's now rumors floating around that I couldn't handle Dixon Street on a Friday night or Saturday night, which is the most preposterous fake news that I've ever heard. I don't want to hear that. The truth has now come out, but it has nothing to do with me being unable to handle Dixon Street on a freaking Friday night. I'm not Baker Mayfield over here, okay?
Fair.
No, he's just Aaron Torres, and I'll believe it about Dixon when I see it.
And I got as many playoff wins as Baker Mayfield does, baby, so don't ever forget that, okay? And playoff appearances, as a matter of fact. Less eyes than trophies, though.
And as much fake money in your hands as Odell Beckham Jr. does, too.
Yeah, we got to do another segment on that one, the post show. That story is unbelievable. But lesson is always, you put your hands on a police officer, it's not going to end well. So
That's right. All right, Aaron, we'll let you go. Enjoy your show tomorrow and the game and everything else you got going on. Look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, fantastic, guys. I look forward to it. Enjoy tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
You got it. Aaron Torres. He did quite a preview on his latest podcast. You can download it anywhere you get your podcasts. The Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. 877-377-6963. Let's react to that interview and some other Razorback news right after this on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime.
The big end of the hunting season sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors. Deer hunters and duck hunters, you can bag some huge savings right now at Jelco Outdoors while they last. Save on clothing, footwear, waders, decoys, scents, rifles, shotguns, bows, crossbows, and lots of accessory items for all your deer and duck hunting trips. Don't miss the end of season sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hey, Grounds Grounds guys.
Hey, what?
Y'all did such a great job on cleaning all the leaves from my yard, but I noticed y'all were pressure washing my neighbor's driveway. Y'all do that too?
Absolutely. Amy, the Grounds Guys is a full-service lawn and landscape company. We do leaf removal, gutter cleaning, power washing, and many other outdoor projects. At the Grounds Guys, we want your full lawn and landscape looking its best all year long. Call the Grounds Guys at 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897. And say,
hey, Grounds Guys.
And get $25 off any fall or winter service. The Grounds Guys, serving Northwest Arkansas.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. I am a runner. 10 years ago, I couldn't say that. 10 years ago, if you told me that I'd be the owner of a specialty running store, I would have laughed in your face. I've been where you are, wanting to make a change, not knowing how to get started, and certain that everyone would laugh at me if they saw me trying to run. Running changed my life, and it has the power to change yours too. Come find out how at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Well, another decade has come and gone, and the year 2020 is here to stay a bit. Why not start another year with a brand new IP phone system from Pinnacle Telecom? And better yet, how about if it cost you nothing on the front end? That's right. To celebrate a new decade, Pinnacle Telecom will waive the installation costs for all cloud-based hosted IP phone systems. Pair this system with Pinnacle's fast fiber internet, and your business is ready for the future. Check us out at pinnacletelecom.com or give us a call today, 479-242-0000.
What's your family's security worth to you? Have you put off adding a security system to your home for another year? Or are you just waiting for someone to break in to be that final straw? Use your income tax return to add a security system to your home for as little as $495 and $15.95 a month. Guardtronic has a package to help secure your home. Call today for a free estimate, 479-785-2323, or visit the website, guardtronic.com. License EO50.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
7 seconds. Got to drive it, Brad. You got to drive it. Matt for maybe the win. Oh, the follow is good. Arkansas in overtime.
Rolling along on this Friday and getting you set for a weekend. Arkansas, Kentucky tomorrow, 3 o'clock. It's televised on ESPN. Dickie V's on the call. We'll have the IMG Learfield pregame at 2:30 on this very radio station. I am with the women's basketball team Sunday, so that's why I can't be at tomorrow's game. The women's team ranked 23rd in the country, battling against Vanderbilt. And that also should be a pretty entertaining game. Maybe not quite at the level of the men, because I think the men's game can go either way. I would expect Arkansas's women's team to head on the road and take down what is right now a 12-5 Vanderbilt team that got blown out by South Carolina. All right, some other news involving Arkansas athletics. There is a quarterback on the hill right now, according to Danny West, and it is one of the targets for a graduate transfer, Felipe Franks. is in attendance right now in Fayetteville. Again, that is according to Danny West. Be a nice get for the Razorbacks. And apparently Chase Bryce, the former Clemson quarterback, who had one of the biggest moments of Clemson's last national championship drive, helping them to a win over Syracuse. Remember that? That was just a week or so after Kelly Bryant had left Clemson.
Correct.
And Bryce leads them to a victory over Syracuse. So he is a grad transfer and has 2 years of eligibility left. Might be a decent fit at Arkansas because he can run and he can throw. Now, that's one thing about Felipe Franks that does concern me a little bit because of that injury, that ankle injury that he suffered was just so gruesome. You wonder if he's the same sort of runner as he might have been before. I know he's really just a big quarterback at 6'5" and a little heftier, but I'm not sure if he's got the legs for the sort of offense that Kendall Briles wants to run.
Today, a lot of people have been speculating because January 17th is the last day that you can early enroll for the spring semester, and the fact that he is taking his official visit today leads many people to possibly believe that he could early enroll and they would accept him immediately on the Arkansas campus, which is interesting because I think at that point you're probably not going to try and do what you did last year and go after another grad transfer. I think they'll go hot and heavy for Malik Hornsby, but they won't necessarily go after another grad transfer quarterback. So, and you and I aren't doctors. We don't know the severity of the injury. We don't know like how much it's going to prohibit him from doing certain things, running the football this next season, regardless if he's on the Razorbacks or wherever else. But if he doesn't come back fully healthy, you're and the same guy. I mean, he was a slightly above average SEC quarterback, right? He wasn't great.
Look, Florida was better with Kyle Trask than they were with Felipe Franks.
Correct. And again, Trask started behind Derek King in high school and didn't play and still managed to
things all
get a
end up
quarterback.
coming together.
Yeah, that's just wild to me. So the connection's there, but I think that should worry Hog fans a little bit if he's not going to be the same player, and that player was just slightly above. And I was at Florida too. A lot better players down at Florida than there is at Arkansas, so you got to factor that in. Plus, it's the West. Plus, you're playing. You got to play Notre Dame this year. You got to play Alabama, LSU, the whole 9 yards. So it's something to think about with him if they end up getting him to early enroll today, Phil.
Joan Mountain Home reminds me that I had been saying that I thought, if I was Felipe Franks and I'm receiving interest from Major League Baseball teams as a pitcher and you've been clocked in the mid-90s, give up football. Go to baseball. But that's not what he wants to do. So I understand you're giving me a hard time, Joe, but it's true. I mean, he's coming on to campus here at Arkansas. He's visited Kansas as well. He's being shopped around, and does look like Felipe Franks wants to continue to play football. And, I think in his mind, and maybe in any sort of athlete's mind who can do two sports at the same time, and you got 1 year of eligibility left in football, you give it your best in that final year in football, see where you sit in the draft, and then if things don't go according to plan in a football sense, you go ahead and you play baseball. By the way, did you see Kyler Murray bringing this conversation up again? Murray reported yesterday that he does believe that although it's not in his short-term plans, that eventually he does think he can play in the NFL and Major League Baseball at the same time.
Good luck with that.
Yes, really good luck with that as a quarterback.
Because when's the last time someone's done that at the professional level?
I don't know any quarterbacks that have done it.
Okay, not quarterbacks, though. Is Bo Jackson, though, or is it Deion?
No, I mean, there was Brian Jordan did it. I think for a couple of years he was a Braves outfielder and a Cardinals outfielder, and I think he was a defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons. That's the last guy that I remember really having some success in both sports at the same time, though Jordan was – I think he had a much longer baseball career. Yeah, Deion did it, Bo Jackson did it, and a couple of others that don't come to mind. But it's been a long time. It's been a really long time. And look, I mean, it was easier for Connor Nolan to choose one sport at the college level. I mean, just would imagine the craziness of what it would be like to try to be the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, and the Oakland A's still own Murray's baseball rights. So to play for the Oakland A's at the same time.
That'd be
That'd
wild.
Be really interesting. It really would. That would be crazy.
Other Arkansas quarterback news, you got D'Eriq King. People have been wondering about him. He's visiting 2 colleges this weekend. Miami, that's reported by Miami 24/7. Then he's going to apparently Maryland on Saturday. That's via the Baltimore Sun. So that's
What's this tweet that Nikki came out with? She spoke with Rhett Lashley, and he does not believe that Arkansas is a factor?
Yeah, so I saw this on Hogbeat yesterday that she said she texted him, and he said, and I mean, coaches can say whatever they want to shade one way or another. And I mean, coaches in Arkansas lie all the time. It's coach speak, or they don't want to reveal something. It's a part of the profession. So I would take that with a heavy grain of salt when it comes to that. But again, I told you yesterday, the more sources, the more stories that come out that looks like D'Eriq King's heading to Arkansas, the less likely I am to believe it. If it's hush-hush, if it's under wraps, then I'm a lot more likely to believe it until it actually happens. I don't even know what the percentage is on that, him coming. But I know that Arkansas fans as a whole, and I'm assuming Kendall Briles would rather have a guy he's played with and coached than Felipe Franks. But who knows what happens this weekend and what happens today with him.
So today's the last day to enroll early. Does that really also mean that today is the last day to join the team for spring ball? If you don't make your decision today, then does that mean that you have to wait until August to officially become part of the team?
Okay, so you're asking me a question. The timeline was Starkel. Starkel committed in March, but if I remember correctly, he didn't come till June or July, right?
He was not here in spring ball, no. I mean, he still had classes to finish at Texas A&M before he could really be a grad transfer.
So I'm just guessing based off that, I'm not the person to answer this question because that's really technical stuff and digging into bylaws and stuff, but I think that's probably correct. That's probably an RD or Nikki or Danny question. If you want to shoot one of them a text. But
I'm going to fire off a text to Nikki during the commercial break.
And I'm wondering, what's the reaction going to be if tonight it comes out Felipe Franks has enrolled in Arkansas, he's taking up a scholarship? What's going to be, are fans going to be excited about that? Is that going to get your juices flowing? Is that going to get your, as John L. Smith would say, I can't say it, but the pee hot? Is that going to do it for you? I don't necessarily know if it does or not. Because Ben Hicks was just and then Starkel was a little more. There's a little more uppity up. They're pretty excited, but I don't know if Felipe Franks coming in. And I think he's obviously a much better quarterback than anyone they have in that room right now based on the experience. But I don't know if that's necessarily the collective fan base as a whole is going to jump on board with him coming on, and it's not going to get too many people excited, I don't think.
All right, we've got no guests scheduled. We've cleared it out for the next hour. So it's all up to your calls and texts, 877-377-6963 to get with us in our final hour of the week. We've got some updating SEC news that does involve football, but we're heavy on Arkansas, Kentucky basketball, including we'll go public with our predictions for the game. Stay tuned. Second hour halftime coming right after this quick commercial break.
You have work to do. You need a tractor that helps get it done. TYM has the full range of tractors designed to meet the task. With the TYM easy-to-use controls and features, switching from one job to another is easy. And with the full range of models from 19 horsepower to 105 horsepower turbo, there is a TYM tractor that's right for the job and for you. But you can't buy a TYM tractor just anywhere. It's only sold at authorized TYM dealers like Bush Tractor, 7301 South Zero, Fort Smith.
Barley is the soul of Budweiser. That's why we've been working with the same family-owned American farms for more than 50 years to harvest it. The secrets to growing this grain perfectly have been passed down through 3 generations. For them, it's a legacy. And it's why only the best barley and locally sourced ingredients are used to make Budweiser. Budweiser is proudly raised across America. This Bud's from our barley farmers. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
It's cold outside. Did you know many natural gas appliances can operate even when the power is out? Natural gas fireplaces, gas logs, space heaters, ranges, grills, outdoor lights, and backup generators will operate when you need them the most. Install efficient, safe, and reliable natural gas appliances today. It's the right choice. Call 784-2000 or visit AOGC.com to experience the benefits of natural gas today. AOG. Energy for life.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Is it time for a new printer? When looking for that new printer, you'll consider the new technology available, but also reliability, quality, cost, and access to service and supplies are important. With eConcierge from Dixie Digital and Xerox, you get free lifetime service coverage for your eligible Xerox printers, plus an easy way to order toner and ink. For more information, call Dixie Digital Imaging at 783-6600 or visit our website at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Mainly cloudy sky with an increasing chance of some rainfall tonight. You can see some light freezing rain across the north as temperatures will drop close to freezing. Will be closer to the upper 30s further south. We're looking at that mix of rain, freezing rain across the north early Friday, then showers for the rest of the day, highs in the 40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
These guys are awesome, baby. You can have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play. Prayer answered.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Always appreciate when our usual show contributors contribute on days that they are not scheduled to join us. I did text Nikki Chabanel during the break, and according to her, and I believe the things she says about Arkansas football, certainly in the in the importance of the dates on the calendar, not only is today the last day to enroll in classes, that means that unless, according to Nikki, they pull strings somehow, which I'm sure no college athletics program has ever done, that today is also the last day to officially become part of the team for spring ball. So that means that really, I mean, unless somebody decides to transfer in today and enrolls today, then they will be joining Arkansas football for the summertime, for fall/summer practice camp, whatever it is you want to call it. So, I mean, Ben Hicks had already made his decision, a year ago, more than a year ago, so that's why he was able to go through spring ball. It's a different situation with Starkel and I think some of these other guys, because Starkel was still trying to get credits to get his undergrad degree so he could actually transfer and play the next season, because you have to have that undergrad degree. For De'Aaron King, for Chase Bryce, for Felipe Franks, I think they've already got that degree taken care of, and they'll be looking to. I mean, I don't know what the dates are at Arkansas compared to some of the other schools, because I don't believe that today would be the last day at some of the other places as well to also be eligible for spring ball. But,
Arkansas's got to get that academics thing worked into athletics' favor. They got to figure that out.
I guess
so.
Got to go on those trimesters. Maybe that pushed the date back a little bit farther. All right, we are more than anything. We've been getting you set for Arkansas and Kentucky basketball, but the coordinators for Sam Pittman spoke yesterday to, well, it wasn't the media. They had one-on-ones with our friends at Pig Trail Nation.
You hear that, Jason? We gave you credit. Apparently, I was going to get a text if we didn't do that. So,
Jason does deserve credit. Yeah. So do the rest of them. When it comes to these sit-down conversations they had with Barry Odom and Kendall Briles. So let's get to some of the sound here that we've cut from Pig Trail Nation. Let's go to Kendall Briles first. So the story on how Briles and Pittman come together at Arkansas, I guess like anything else, would begin with a simple phone call.
I called him. Yeah, didn't know him at all. I'd kind of done a little bit of research on him and ended up reaching out to a former staff member that was here and asked if he could find his number and get it, and I called him. And he answered, and we talked for, 15, 20 minutes, and 2 days later I was on a flight here.
Now, I remember Trey Biddy reporting this a couple of weeks ago from Sam Pittman's perspective, and it's now just been verified again by the Pig Trail Nation and Kendall Briles, and it's kind of odd, but, I mean, you got to be happy, right? You got one of the most recognizable offensive coordinators in the country that doesn't really have a connection to your head coach or Arkansas for that matter, and he just is like, on a whim, I'm going to give him a call. I think Arkansas is definitely going to benefit from that conversation, Phil.
So he made a phone call to Sam Pittman, and I wonder, and this really doesn't mean anything now because he's the offensive coordinator at Arkansas, but there were also open jobs at Missouri and at Ole Miss, and if you're looking to get into the SEC, and look, Georgia just had to hire a new offensive coordinator, and I think that they've made their decision too.
Browns OC, I can't think of his name.
Todd Monken.
Yeah.
I wonder how many other phone calls Kendall Briles made, because when you lose your job, and he knew he was not going to be returning as an offensive coordinator at Florida State, so he knew that the pastures would be elsewhere. How many other phone calls did he make? I would caution against the thought that the only call he made or the first call he made was to Sam Pittman. Again, this doesn't matter at all right now.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, though, Phil. Come on,
man. It doesn't matter at all right now because he is at Arkansas. But there's no way that was the only call he made. You know what it's like when you're making a job search. You got to cast a wide net.
Yeah.
You have to. Otherwise, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Then, again, you get a really nasty-tasting omelet.
When did Enos get canned? You remember that? The day or the week?
That was the day after their bowl game loss.
Okay. So maybe, I can't remember how far back Briles got hired, but, he could potentially have called Miami, could have potentially been in contact. Obviously, he's coached under Lane Kiffin there at Houston, and FAU as well, I think. So, not Houston, sorry, just FAU. So there's probably some contacts there. We could speculate all we want who he reached out to, but at the end of the day,
it doesn't matter. To me, it's just, he made a phone call. We've all made phone calls when we've looked for jobs. But it obviously was it seemed to the two of them at that moment that it might be a really good fit. Sometimes people just seem to mesh.
Yeah.
Right? When an offensive coordinator and a guy who's been a career offensive line coach have their first ever phone call, and then one ends up working for the other, there must have been one of those aha moments. I have found what at least now feels like a kindred spirit.
Well, think of it like when you're back in high school. Think of like a cute girl was debating on like dating you or another guy. At the end of the day, she picked you. You shouldn't care about like what she was debating on. You won. Like you won that battle. You got Kendall Briles as your offensive coordinator who's been recognized and regarded. You would have to look, and I know there's probably not a lot of double firings this season in both offensive defensive coordinator. I know Texas did it with Orlando, and I can't think of Texas's OC that they fired, that Herman fired this year. But there hasn't been a ton of college football OCs and DCs hired. But you can, and this is not being me being a homer, you would have a serious debate if Arkansas had the two best coordinator hires in the offseason in those two positions. And I think a lot of college football pundits and writers would probably agree that Arkansas, at least at one or two, had the best two hires coordinator-wise in the offseason. That's not like out of left field. It's pretty honest, Phil.
So let's play some sound from the other coordinator who also spoke with Pig Trail Nation. Defensive coordinator Barry Odom, who is very good friends with Sam Pittman, says that he's got reasons why Sam Pittman will turn things around with the Hogs.
There's not going to be anybody that outwork him. He is so genuine, and his belief on what this place is going to be and how we're going to do it. He's not going to stray from it. He's also had great success everywhere he's been. You know, if you go back from the beginning of time for him, he's not failed at anything he's ever tried to do, and this is not going to be different. So he is a really, really good people person. The kids are going to, you know, our players are going to, they're going to love having an opportunity to play for him.
Really seems like they have a good relationship, that they're pretty tight, Phil, which is going to be good. And I know that Pittman's more taking he's going to be hands-on, but at the same time, he's going to let the guys, like let Briles, let Odom do what they do best, and that's coordinate both the offense and defense. And you hope that with what that Odom had at Missouri, kind of lesser heralded recruits, and he's still able to make them in a good defense. And then Briles has had success offensively basically everywhere he's been outside of a blimp at Florida State. You hope they can turn things around on both sides of the football relatively quickly, especially since how difficult that's going to be in the SEC West.
And that's got to be the most difficult part of becoming a head coach. You know, they'll tell you about the thousands of little decisions that you have to make day after day that you might not have thought about. But to me, I think it's the ability to step back and let the people that you've hired do their jobs so that they feel like they have autonomy isn't the right word, but it's like the same idea as we were speaking yesterday about a short bench for the basketball team. You're not looking over your shoulder if you've made a mistake, if you've made a turnover, if you've made a bad call, you know, or if a play blew up in your face, because you know that you've got trust from your man, from your boss, from your head coach to let you do your job. I think people like working for somebody like that, not micromanaging. It's understood that any boss is going to do a little micromanaging here and there. That's okay. When you see something that needs to be fixed, you point it out, and if you can help in any way, then you try to. But there's something to be said as well for just letting your guys do their jobs and not always trying to step into their roles.
Yeah, Tommy's pretty good about that. He just kind of throws me out in the wilderness and let me do it. If I screw up, I'm going to hear about it. If not, he trusts me enough to get things done. And I think in a work environment, in a playing environment, whether you're in college, professional, high school, whatever sports, you don't like a micromanager. It drives you up a wall. It drives you nuts when you're constantly getting criticized and constantly getting critiqued. If it's every once in a while, that's okay, and that's what the bosses and the coaches and all that, that's what their job. But when you have someone that's looking over your shoulder 24/7, it's not easy to deal with on a daily basis.
Apparently Drew and Harrison wants me to go all negative. He texted in 877-377-6963. Tells me to lose the glass half empty outlook on everything. Put a little LOL in there, so I don't know. Maybe he's joking a little bit. I don't know if that's the way I was looking at things. Anyway, 877-377-6963. Hey, I can go negative. Maybe I'll try that after the break. Stay tuned. I'm going to go really, really dark, so don't go anywhere.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Ty Sports Radio. This is the Morning Rush.
That's what I always find it fascinating about not just media but fans. The guy sitting in section 212, upper deck corner, third row from the top. He is certain the guy that is 4 feet from the play on the floor has missed it when he's 3 rows from the top in the corner. You know, officiating is all about angles.
I mean, what better angle do you need than up there? You can see the whole thing, Tommy. You can see all of it from up there.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Hey, back again with our good friends at World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. We use that word wireless. You do everything wireless. Dish service, satellite TV service, internet service. You can bundle it all together and save people money.
Now, come by and see us at World of Wireless, corner of Phoenix and Rogers Avenue, or call us at 877-305-DISH, or go to shopwownow.com. We do everything wireless. We do smart homes. We do wireless internet in rural areas. As a matter of fact, we specialize in rural area internet. We offer every form of satellite internet. We offer our own high-speed internet, which is unlimited data in a lot of rural areas, Ozark, Charleston, Mansfield, Huntington, Hartford, all those areas. In other words, south and east of Fort Smith. That's our own unlimited data. We can combine it with Dish. If we can't satisfy you there, we may have another product that'll work with you, but we're the place to go when you need high-speed rural internet and you want to combine it with Dish TV service.
Put it all together with World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH, and bundle TV and high-speed internet with one phone call. That's 877-305-DISH for WOW, World of Wireless.
The Winter Upgrade Event is your perfect time to get cool seasonal savings and exceptional factory incentives at Road Chevrolet, like a new 20 Chevy Equinox from front-wheel drive LT as low as $25,708, or save up to $14,000 on a new 19 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT at Rhodes Chevrolet, conveniently located at exit 2A off I-540 in Van Buren, or RhodesChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. See dealer for details. Expires 2/3/20.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine & Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine & Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine & Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Do you hate your current mailing machine? Is dealing with that giant company not worth the effort any longer? That's the issue we had at Dixie Digital. While looking for a better solution for our own use, we partnered with FP for mailing and mailroom solutions. We now offer access to FP's entire line of postage machines, folder inserters, software, and more. Local service with a local company. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit our website at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
What's your family's security worth to you? Have you put off adding a security system to your home for another year? Or are you just waiting for someone to break in to be that final straw? Use your income tax return to add a security system to your home for as little as $495 and $15.95 a month. Guardtronic has a package to help secure your home. Call today for a free estimate, 479-785-2323, or visit the website, guardtronic.com. License EO50.
Look your best with Perfecto Cleaners at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Count on same-day service, easy drive-through cover drop-off and pickup window, and fast turnaround on alterations. Perfecto Cleaners always goes the extra mile to ensure your clothes look their best, making you look your best. Be sure to clip their coupons in the yellow pages, and as always, in by 9 and out by 5 Monday through Friday. Perfecto Cleaners, just off Jenny Lind at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Perfecto Cleaners, making you look your best.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Oh!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
7 seconds. Brandon one-on-one. There it is. Dumped it inside. Blocked by Miller. And we'll go to overtime.
All right, I promised you would go negative for the next segment. Arkansas is going to lose by 20 points tomorrow. Dick Vitale is going to celebrate Kentucky's win when the game is over, right there on the midcourt circle, right in the middle of, right where Little Rock would be on the on the diagram of the state of Arkansas.
He's getting tethered by Arkansas fans.
I see. And you knew that would come. Look, I mean, nobody wants to admit that Kentucky, when Kentucky shows up, it just brings a buzz with it.
Why is that so hard to believe, though?
It's just a fact. It's a fact. That's where you would like your program to be. You want to be the team that's hated by everybody else so much that you just show up, that people show up no matter how good or bad your team is. Look, you don't need Kentucky to have a sellout this year for Arkansas. That's easy to tell. The energy from this fan base is there. The reasons for that energy are easy to see. You've got 4 other sellouts. It's not because it's Kentucky that this game sold out, but this game sold out before the other 4.
Yeah. Phil, let me ask you something. Regular season-wise, is there a game that Arkansas fans would rather win than Kentucky?
Auburn. That'll end up being potentially, that could be better for your resume than a win at home against
Kentucky. But fans don't look at it like that. You're looking at it logistically and logically, which is fine, and that's how I look at it.
I should never
too.
look at things logically on this show. I know that.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, Arkansas fans, they want to beat the Wildcats. You had to beat them last 7 times. So, and I thought Dickey gave some great stuff yesterday. I thought he was fantastic, and we liked having him. I'll hopefully get to talk to him tomorrow. But for whatever reason, Arkansas fans are still hung up on 2017 when he ripped Moses Kingsley, which he since apologized for, which he since had a conversation with Mike Anderson about. They're still hung up on that. They're still hung up at the fact that he likes Kentucky and he likes Cal. I got news. Cal and Kentucky are fun to watch. They've had some great players over the years. There's a reason that these different commentators flock to Alabama football, flock to Kentucky basketball, flock to LSU baseball, because they're good. That's common knowledge. So people freaking out that he likes one of the better teams in college basketball, then beat him tomorrow. Give him a reason to give you credit, give you joy. I guarantee you, Phil, on the broadcast tomorrow, if Arkansas either wipes the floor with Kentucky or beats Kentucky, he's going to be all over the atmosphere, the game, the team. He has a relationship in Muss, so he's going to give him a ton of credit. Not you personally. People listening are just so caught up in the fact that he likes the Wildcats. Win tomorrow? Give him a reason to. Give him a reason to like Arkansas. Give him a reason to give him some love.
Hey, if people are upset that Dick Vitale has a close relationship with John Calipari, and I didn't have enough time to cut the audio of it, but I mean, Eric Musselman, and this is one of the big contrasts from what you had the last 8 years to what you have right now, because when it was Mike Anderson versus John Calipari, you knew the coaches didn't like each other, and that might actually play itself out onto the court at some point during the game. These two coaches have a lot of respect for each other, and apparently Eric Musselman really, really likes John Calipari to the point where he credited Calipari's coaching seminars, along with Larry Brown, to a lot of the relationships that he's built across the college basketball landscape. So you don't have that animosity between the coaches. In fact, they're friends. And so that's one humongous contrast. Look, these fan bases don't like each other. I'll bet you the players at the same time, year after year, also don't like each other. Yeah. The coaches used to despise each other, but that's just not the case anymore.
So there's going to be some animosity once the game starts. I mean, it's going to be all friendly, ha-ha, rah-rah before the game. And they obviously, as you mentioned, this is the comparison I always like to use when there's respect, but it's a rivalry, and hopefully this will be turned back into a rivalry because you got smacked around these last 7 games. But, like, the Bird Magic comparison is so easy to use because, like, they didn't like each other on the court, but the respect for one another that they have, especially when they played in the Natty Championship when Arkansas got screwed against Indiana State in the Elite Eight, the finals they participated in when they 84, 87, which one I was skipping? 84, 85, and 87, I think are the finals that they played in. There was just immense respect for one another. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be, like, holding back on the court. They're going to be going at each other. They're going to be treating the rest the same. They're going to be, if something they don't like one another does, they're going to be harping or yelling at each other and barking at each other. But after the game, before the game, it's going to be a handshake. It's going to be a little small talk, and hopefully Muss is the happier one, and Cal's the disappointed one after Saturday's game, Phil.
I'll make a prediction for you here, not on the final score of the game, but on something that you could see in the box score that could lead to an Arkansas win. If the Hogs are plus 5 turnovers and not minus 10 rebounds, I think that'll be the sort of recipe that leads to a win.
Okay.
South Carolina out-rebounded them by 2, had 6 fewer turnovers, and took 18 more shots than Kentucky did. It's not a matter of the rebounds. It's a matter of if those rebounds lead to second chances for Kentucky. Can Arkansas keep them off the offensive glass? And I know, and look, I saw Steve Sullivan from KETV in Little Rock, the now reigning Arkansas Sportscaster of the Year, and a tip of the cap to
my
friend
win?
Sully for that. He did.
Screw that.
Deservedly so.
No.
Sorry,
let me put you were in the running for the award.
You want to say I got screwed worse than the '79 Razorbacks? Do you want to go ahead and say that?
I can't go that far. I like Sully, and he's been good to me, but I like you more. So
but Sully pointed out he thought that there's a chance that Arkansas could get some offensive rebounds against the Wildcats. I don't know if I see that happening. Musselman joked about it at the press conference yesterday. He said, I don't think we'll get any offensive rebounds, and he said that with a little bit of a smirk. But it's all about the opportunity to get to the rim or hit your three-point shot, and if it's a matter of possessions, more rebounds, less turnovers, or the other way around. You got to have one or the other in order to get yourself a win. And good thing Arkansas is so better than the opponents on valuing the ball. So I do think plus 6 in turnovers would mitigate minus 10 in rebounds.
Yeah. So you pointed out the statistics that you like. If Arkansas was on the better side of it, that they have a much better, probably going to win. Here's the thing I liked. When Aaron Torres brought this up about Nick Richards, I think you said, what is he shooting, 68% this season? Like, he's had a really good year, really transformed from last year to this year. He's not P.J. Washington level, but he's taken that next step. If you can get him in foul trouble early, make him get a couple ticky-tack fouls and put him on the bench, this is not the same basketball team without him. You're not going against Lyles, Towns, Kari Johnson, and Willie Cauley-Stein. This is not the same front court. They don't have that same type of depth. This is not the same length that you typically see with Kentucky. So you can take advantage. He was mentioned Sestina. This is a guy that you can take advantage of a little bit athletically. Now, he's a good pick-and-pop guy. You got to defend him on the other end. But hopefully it won't be LSU level-esque where you just get absolutely sauced on the glass. The other thing I got to look at, I mentioned this and you mentioned this as well, dude's got to start hitting some threes outside of Mason Jones and Isaiah Joe. And I know Desi hit one in the Vanderbilt game, but like they got to get something from Jalen. They got to get something from Desi. Mason obviously can't have 1 point and then expect to win this basketball game.
I think you'll need a better first half as well from Isaiah Joe than you've usually been getting.
You got to hit some threes. If you look back to some of the bigger upsets in Bud Walton Arena, and I haven't watched as many games in Barnhill. Typically, Arkansas starts out hot, and that usually means from behind the 3-point line. So you got to get a couple shots going, get the crowd into it early, because they'll stay with you, they'll help you. Must have talked about that several points this season, how much the crowd has energized this basketball team. But he also mentioned it in the post-game presser after Vanderbilt. The players got to give them something to cheer about, and that means knocking down shots, hustling, getting after boards, and doing all that it takes to win a basketball game. Got to knock down some threes against the Wildcats, Phil, or you don't stand much of a chance in this one.
I guess it's a matter of where are the opportunities to score. Vanderbilt trying to take away the open look for Mason Jones and for Isaiah Joe, and in that first half did a pretty good job of it, but they didn't expect, nor did Eric Musselman or anybody else expect, for Jimmy Witt to go off the way that he did. You're not going to get that many 20-point games from Jimmy Witt. You're not going to get another 30-point game from Jimmy Witt because that's the most he has ever scored in his entire career. So you had your off shooting day for both Zay and Mason, and you got the win. That's what made the victory against Vanderbilt such a big announcement.
By 22.
That Arkansas had another option.
Mm-hmm.
But you do feel like against the good teams, against an Alabama, against an Auburn, against a Mississippi State, and definitely later on in the year against LSU, you need one of your shooters. You need one of them to come out and have one of those big games. You don't need the 36 from Mason Jones. You don't have to get 34 from Isaiah Joe. I'm not even saying that both of them have to score over 20, but they need to have their shot on, because if that's the case, that will open up the floor for somebody else. And I think tomorrow's game might also be a little bit of an example of how you need to win against really good teams. And maybe I'm not saying really good. It shouldn't be really good because Kentucky's not really good. They're just good.
And you wonder, assuming Reggie Chaney, based on his best performance of the season, he's probably going to get that 7 slot like he has been. So if he ends up to snuff in the first half, does he go Silla? Does he mix in Henderson? I think Henderson's of those three is probably the last one that's going to come off the bench. But you also need something from your bench. It was either the Vanderbilt or the Ole Miss game. You got one bench point. That can't happen again against Kentucky, too. You got to have a lot more production there, Phil.
Halftime brought to you by The Fence Man. If you own a business that needs more security or needs more curb appeal, call The Fence Man at 479-782-3936. They've got a fence that can give you both. Fence Man specializes in custom installations, been doing it for over 40 years. Ask for Henry at The Fence Man. They'll be over for a quick no-obligations quote. Again, it's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man's a division of Quantum Property Services. 30 minutes left on the final edition of Halftime for this week.
Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Ty Sports Radio.
The The 2019s must go. Save up to $15,000 now at Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford. 2019 Ford Expedition with the all-new body style. Now $15,000 off. 2019 Ford Escapes, only $24,230. And 2019 Ford F-150 4x4s, over $10,000 off. The 2019s must go. Up to $15,000 off at Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Sallisaw.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Happy hour is now twice a day, every day at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. 7 days a week from 2 till 6 and 9 till close. TGI Fridays is the place to meet friends, watch the game, and just relax with all your favorite beers, drinks, and appetizers, including $2 draft beers, $5 pitchers, $3 specialty drinks, and delicious appetizers like loaded cheese fries, boneless wings, skillet queso, and a whole lot more for only $5. Happy hour twice daily, 7 days a week at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Well, the new year is in full swing and it's business as usual. But it doesn't have to be. If you're stuck with an old phone system or an old slow internet connection, chances are the technology curve has passed you by. Why not let Pinnacle Telecom help you get back up to speed? With lightning fast fiber internet connections and IP phone systems, Pinnacle Telecom can ensure you're not left behind. Get 4 new IP phones for as little as $99 per month. Check us out at pinnacletelecom.com. Pinnacle Telecom, tomorrow's technology today.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
67-66. Vandy's not going to call a timeout. We got an offensive foul. Saban Lee pushed off his 5th foul of the game, and Arkansas is going to get the ball with 8.2 to go.
What is coming up in 4 Fridays? Ty, that's a question for you. It's really a rhetorical question because you already know the answer. It's not the 17th of February because it doesn't quite work that way on the calendar.
I'm trying to think. 4 Fridays.
4 Fridays from today.
Should I know what this is?
Oh, you betcha, because you're going to be hosting the final hour of that show by yourself or with somebody else. Because in 4 Fridays, Arkansas baseball opens up.
Oh.
That thing. That's right.
I didn't know. I had no idea what you were talking about. Who are they? Is Eastern Illinois? They're opening up again?
The Panthers.
The Panthers.
EIU.
Okay.
That's right. 28 days away. Drew and Harrison, who's blowing up our text line today, asked about did Dave Van Horn announce the Friday night guy yet? Nope, not quite yet. I'd give it 3 weeks before you find out what the actual lineup of the rotation will look like, with Connor Nolan and Patrick Wicklander going mano-a-mano.
So you've had 2 alphas in that spot in Blaine Knight and Isaiah Campbell, and now it's going to be more of who's going to get it. I mean, maybe
who wants to be the alpha?
Yeah,
right?
Who wants to be the alpha? So I mean, that has to be one of the. And you mentioned the bullpen. I mean, there's question marks. It's not like those two are necessarily question marks, but the question mark is which one's going to be the top dog in this Friday night? Who's going to? And they're not going to have a Campbell. They're not going to have a Knight. And I know we said that they're not going to have a Blaine Knight, and then Isaiah Campbell did what he did. But like, is it fair for me to say that Nolan and Wicklander are not going to be what Blaine Knight and Isaiah Campbell have been for the baseball team the past 2 seasons?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, look, Blaine had his best season as a junior. So did Zay. We're talking about sophomores, and it's not that you can't be a dominant guy as a sophomore. There's plenty of pitchers that can, but there was something about what Knight had to fight through as a freshman with that team that missed out on not just the baseball postseason, but on the SEC tournament as well, and came back with a solid sophomore year, but had his moments, and then was, the Blaine Knight that everybody remembers in his junior year. And then Zay last year was coming off of coming off of an up and down season as a sophomore, and had come off of arm surgery the year before that. With Nolan and Wicklander, they haven't had they had their freshman seasons, and a freshman season means bumps in the road, ups and downs. How can you improve? What are you going to get better at? And you know what I've said with Wicklander, got to get better at fastball command, and with Connor Nolan, stay out of the middle of the plate, add some velocity, because I think both of those guys can be top-notch competitors. But what you need now, what you've had from your Friday night pitchers these last 2 years, and really the last 3 years, because you had the same thing from Trevor Stephan, was a Friday night guy that you knew you could count on, that you always felt like we're not going to lose this game. It's just not going to happen. And it got you it just set the tone for the rest of the weekend. Does Friday mean anything more than Saturday? In college baseball, yes, sometimes it really does. It sets the tone for the weekend. It decides how many innings you need your bullpen to figure out for the next 2 days. Yes, those Friday nights mean more than Saturdays. And certainly I think to Dave Van Horn that's the case too, because he's always put, not every team does it, but he's always put his best starting pitcher out there on a Friday night. So that's going to be a really interesting thing to look out for over the next 2-3 weeks. I'm looking forward to making it to baseball practice sometime next week. I haven't been in Fayetteville all week since the girls aren't playing, and we play Wednesday next week at home, so I'd like to make it to a practice and pick their brains, watch what I can see. Want to see this Robert Moore playing at second base.
See that catch they put out of him just snagging one? He's got some bunnies.
Pretty impressive leaping ability for Robert Moore. So the bullpen to me, and you put it pretty well there, question mark. It's not a matter of do you have guys that can fill the roles you need. Because I saw, and I haven't watched any of the freshmen this year yet, but I saw arms last year that can fill the roles that you need to fill. Setup, closer, and long relief. There are guys in the bullpen that can get these jobs done. If they can harness their control, they will be very good. Jacob Burton, Elijah Trest, Zebulon Vermillion. Cole Ramage right now is a guy that I think might get looked at as a starter potentially.
Better Ramage, yep.
And Kevin Kopp's the same, but those are two veterans that if they are in the bullpen, you're going to usually get pretty good performances out of them. So, and it's only 28 days away.
You text Hunter yet about our little situation in the hog pen?
Nope, I have not.
You get on that, Phil.
I think it's going to come out like the first week of February. I think that's when it'll start to come out. And the situation Ty's referring to is with alcohol sales being allowed at Arkansas, and they are allowed at all events at Bud Walton Arena, all the football games. I haven't seen they've got their first home gymnastics meet tonight. Jordan Weber's first meet at home as the head coach at gymnastics. I mean, you like sitting watching a football game with a beer, watching a basketball game with a beer, same with baseball. That all seems to work itself out. And you can drink beer at a gymnastics meet. I'm just not sure if I've ever seen anybody do it. It would make sense if you're doing it at baseball, at basketball, at football, do it at gymnastics.
They have a meet tonight. I saw their promoting. They're giving away a couple different things, food and stuff, and I think Eric Musselman even put out a video trying to get fans to go to it. So it's cool when you see like coach cohesion between the different sports on the campus where different coaches are promoting other sports just on the campus itself. I always thought that was kind of cool.
Well, remember, Dave Van Horn follows two people on Twitter, and one of them is Eric Musselman. The other is not Sam Pittman, so we got to get him to follow Sam Pittman.
You said he always says he's like, I got to tweet more. Feel like I got tweets.
It's like once a year.
I got to tweet more, Phil. So I'm ready for baseball season. I probably won't be at opening day, just because of the cold.
You got to finish the show.
Yeah, I got to.
Who knows though? I mean, I've been at opening days where it's been like 65 degrees, and I've been in an opening day where it's been 35 degrees. Who knows what's going to be like in 28 days?
And I will be at opening day. Who they open SEC against? And is it on Thursday or Friday? I hate when they open on Thursday. It's just like don't do that.
I think we open against Mississippi State. I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but I can find it really quick. I think it's Mississippi State on the road. And chances are, I'm going to have to skip out on that series because hopefully Arkansas women's basketball is in the NCAA tournament, which would take place at the same time. Yes, at Mississippi State, March 13th through the 15th. That's the SEC opening series. And the home opener in the SEC is Alabama, which is practically like a guaranteed series sweep.
Win, yeah.
Like, at home, it should be a sweep against Alabama.
Have you been to? You haven't been to renovated Duty Noble, have you?
No, I did. Okay. I did a game at three games at the Half New Dude 2 years ago, and it was a construction site, and you could hear the beep 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 of the construction vehicles while the pitcher was taking his signs. It was a very interesting way to watch baseball.
I still can't believe there's a couple caught on video having relations up there in the box. You just, like if you have curtains or you have like something cutting that off, like I understand that, but the fact that it's just glass, like you got to be smarter than that. Or maybe they wanted people to see. I don't know.
That was Toronto Blue Jays circa 1992 when Rogers Center opened and called the Sky Dome. The same thing happened, but it was a hotel, and they did it in the middle of a game. I don't think that these relations that you're speaking of at Duty Noble Field were during a game, were they? I think it was in a practice or something like that anyway.
It was a practice.
I'm going to make a bet with you that will never occur in the new facility being built in right field because there are no suites and it's not a hotel. It's just an office building, and the coaches aren't going to be doing that kind of stuff.
So they're not putting their dorms down there? That's not baseball dorms.
No, wouldn't that be great to live on stadium as well?
I think that's kind of dope.
It's like being a clubhouse supervisor for a minor league baseball team.
Ross in Paris is telling us we need to give away tickets for Hog Baseball. That is a Tommy Kraft question, Ross. So maybe we can convince Tommy.
We do carry all the games, every last one of them.
And I know that Tommy has season tickets, so maybe we can convince him that we'll give them away on halftime. I think he keeps them for himself, Phil. So that's going to be hard to pry him away from him, but
he didn't keep the Kentucky basketball tickets for himself.
He did. So
he did keep.
No. Sorry,
he did. Away.
I'm sorry. No, I'm agreeing with you. Sorry,
okay.
And I said the wrong thing. So quick story on that. So we're at a Christmas party, and who was it? I think Shane, who works up there in Harrison, took them from Sean, or opposite. Sean took it from Shane. I took it from Sean, and I was originally going to sell them. And then I got guilted into giving them back because I was told that Sean has a son that he was going to take the game to. It's like, okay, I feel awful. So John and Tommy are just ripping me a new one for doing that. So I have a conscience. I got Jiminy Cricket, so I give them back.
You're a softie.
Yeah, and so I give them back to Sean. And Sean, being the angel he is, gives me a $100 bill and 2 Outback gift cards. So I used like a degenerate. I got a bucket of Fireball, what are they called, shooters yesterday that I'm going to bring up to the game that I won't be drinking, but I will be giving out to the tailgate. And then who knows what I spend the rest of the $80. But Sean's a true friend, and even though I didn't want anything in return, he was kind enough to give it to me, Phil.
All right, we need predictions for the game. 877-377-6963. We'll close out with a cherry on the top after this.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. You're listening to Halftime.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here with a better way to drive at Rath Auto Resources. New year, new you. That's a lot of pressure. How about new year, new ride? Now, we can make that happen. Just resolve to start driving better in the Rath Road Ready vehicle that's perfect for you, like a 2018 Toyota Corolla LE or 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Your choice, just $14,993, and make no payments till spring. If you're like me and your holiday was sponsored by your credit card, that should give you more breathing room than losing a pant size. Waiting on a tax refund? Ask one of our non-commissioned solution specialists how you can use your W-2 to start driving better now. If you're keeping your current ride, our Meineke Car Care Center is there to make sure your car outlasts that new gym membership with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires and a basic oil change for only $24.95. Start driving better today with no payments till spring at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
The new year is here, and Art's Barbecue and Burgers is ready with healthy choices on their menu. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has smoked chicken that will melt in your mouth, a variety of salads to choose from, plus a grilled chicken breast that's always a smart option. And use the Waiter app to have the full menu at Art's Barbecue and Burgers brought to your home or business. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, giving you healthy choices to start the new year off right. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, next to Aaron's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Edwards Auto Center in Roland has a newly remodeled facility with a greater selection of vehicles, and you will enjoy a relaxed, no-pressure sales experience. If your credit score has been an issue, Edwards Signature Buy Here, Pay Here program is a part of their superior customer service. Some restrictions may apply. Edwards has helped folks achieve their dreams of auto ownership and providing quality used vehicles for more than 30 years. Visit the newly remodeled Edwards Auto Center 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on the right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
It's a new year, a time for fresh starts and positive changes. Let us help your vehicle reflect your good vibes by making it look its best. If you find yourself a victim of the winter weather, we will work with your insurance company and help you throughout the process. We offer a lifetime warranty and a complete interior detail with all repairs. We can quickly restore cloudy headlights, making them look like new and brightening your road for better vision on these dark winter nights. Think of us at Evans Body Shop when you need any auto body repairs.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
2020 annual tickets are available at Ben Guerin Golf Course. 18-hole green fees as low as $11.66 per round on a regular unlimited plan. And seniors, juniors, and veterans can play as low as $10.58 per round on the same plan. 18-hole green fee with cart as low as $22.50 per round on an unlimited plan with cart. And seniors, juniors, and veterans can play as low as $20.83 on the same plan. Book your corporate and charitable outings now at Ben Guerin Golf Course.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. We love it when a new year rolls around. It's a clean slate and a chance to start over. Who doesn't love that? We want to help you make 2020 your year. Come in, share your goals with us, and we'll help you achieve them. Not only do we have the best running products, but we have the know-how, the connections, and events to get you started and keep you going. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for all the fun happenings at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
The Arkansas Razorbacks win it by a final count of 80-62 to maintain their top ranking in the polls. A day for celebration in Fayetteville and through all of Arkansas.
Saw some breaking news coming over the line about Major League Baseball shifting its view about deceased players who've been banned for life. They're now saying that your banning from baseball stops at your death. So lucky you, Shoeless Joe Jackson and the members of the Black Sox, that apparently if the Major League Hall of Fame, which isn't owned by Major League Baseball, it's really just the Baseball Hall of Fame, its own institution, they follow the rules of Major League Baseball. So if Major League Baseball's rules say players are banned for life, but that also extends into death, then they are ineligible to be on the Hall of Fame ballot. This will change now. That means that once Pete Rose passes, I think he'll be eligible for the Hall of Fame ballot. This really is going to be an interesting thing to talk about in the coming future.
So, Phil, we've done a show for a year and a half, and I know we're about to get to Chris and Harrison on our hotline, but in about 30 seconds or so, what's your take on him being involved and him knowing about the scandal? Because there's some people that think he didn't know, that he
Rose?
genuinely no, Shoeless Joe.
Oh, man, I haven't done enough research on it to know one way or the other. I just know the fact that he had the highest batting average in that World Series, and and I'm not sure if I can put those things together. So, and here's the other thing that I feel about this too. Like, if you've been banned from baseball, that doesn't mean you didn't play. It doesn't mean your career didn't happen. The Hall of Fame is a museum of the history of baseball. You can't tell the story of baseball without Shoeless Joe Jackson, without Pete Rose, without Barry Bonds, and guys like that. So I think that this rule change by Major League Baseball will have some. It'll be interesting once the next ballot is released, because it's you got about what 7 or 8 months to figure out whether or not these dead players are going to be eligible. Not like it means anything to them, but I guess it'll mean something to their families. All right, we'll close out talk today with predictions on Arkansas basketball. But first, at 877-377-6963, Chris is on the line. Chris and Harrison. Chris, what's up?
Nothing much, guys. Hey, I'll give you my prediction. They're going to stomp that Kentucky butt. That's what they're going to do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen there. But, hey, you guys were talking about, dormitories, like, on the stadium. I went to Arkansas Tech, class of 09, go Wonder Boys.
Yeah.
They actually have a residence hall right there on the home side of the football field.
Yeah, it's like attached to the press box, right? I've been up there.
Yeah, and so, but the thing about it is I was an RA at Arkansas Tech for 3 years, and I was there my senior year, and the great thing about it was, you're right there at the game. The gym was actually, right next door, so, it was easy to go work out and everything. But it wasn't an athlete's residence hall. It was just a student residence hall, so anybody could be in there. As an RA, of course, you give out your cell number and everything, saying, hey, if anything comes up, call me. My phone would get blown up by several guys that apparently Saturday night was their time to study, and they didn't want to go to the library. So I would get out of a Wonder Boys football game, and here you go. I've got 9 voicemails saying, the crowd is too loud. Can you please get them to shut? I'm like, dude, what power do you think I have?
Can you turn the game off, please? Oh, wait a minute. The game is live, and it's going on outside my very window.
I'd love to see where those guys ended up if they were studying on Saturday nights in college. Maybe they're doctors. Maybe they're doing things that actually matter. But I can't. Maybe during finals week I did. I cannot think of one occasion during college where I studied on a Saturday night. Can you?
No,
Honestly,
and maybe that's why it took so long to get through school.
Honestly, it was lucky to get me to study at all. I don't know how I made it through 4 years, but
appreciate the phone call, Chris, and your remembrances of being at Arkansas Tech. Thone Stadium in Russellville. Been there a few times.
Man.
In fact, my last game calling Henderson football was at Thone Stadium. And I've seen this at some other Division II schools, and perhaps it's the same thing at some Division I schools where, you build a dormitory that's part of the stadium so that the funds don't come out of the athletic fund. They come out of the regular operations fund because you're building a student's dormitory and expanding upon it with, a portion of the football stadium. Anyway, that's football stuff. We were supposed to do some basketball stuff, which included picks for Arkansas and Kentucky. So let's get to some of the texts first here. Shane and Dirk says 79-73, Arkansas wins. I got a text from the 479. Says Hogs 74, Chokin' Cats 69. Has anybody ever called them the Chokin' Cats? That's a scary thought. I do have a kitten where I live right now, so a choking cat is a frightening idea. Paul in the fort had me frightened for a moment because he said the final score would be just like the last 4 digits of my phone number, and I thought, what, you have my phone number? I've never given that out on the show. Oh, that's right, 877-377-6963. So he's picking the Hogs 69-63. Anybody else got any more, you can let us know. Again, that's 877-377-6963. I think Arkansas is going to win. I don't know what the line is, nor does it matter. I think that this Razorback team has shown that there are ways to mitigate their lack of size and lack of ability to rebound at times. And I think they will get out-rebounded by Kentucky. but I also think that the Hogs will be able to turn them over. And I also think you're going to get better than a 4 for 16 shooting day from behind the 3-point line from Isaiah Joe and Mason Jones. If Zay had 12 against South Carolina, I think you'll need close to 16, 17. Mason Jones can't be a 1.8 assist guy. He's going to need to be into double figures. Jimmy Witt can do his thing. You don't need Reggie Chaney the way he played against Vanderbilt. You just need some semblance of that from Reggie Chaney, because he is, I don't know if X factor is the right term, but you need his strength and his size at times during the game. So if I were to make a prediction on the final score in this game, I think you see Arkansas win it something like 73-70. I think it's going to be a really entertaining game. It will come down to the final possession, and the Hogs will get their Mississippi State scouting reports when they are walking off of the floor, and it will be a thing of beauty.
Phil, what do we got to do to get Vegas to send us the basketball odds more than just the night before or the day of?
I think you might need to buy a casino.
Maybe, potentially. So, yeah, I just double-checked. There are no odds out right now.
Nor are there any casinos that I'm aware of that are up for sale that you could purchase.
I don't think I have the capital for that. So I got a bad feeling about this game. I mentioned it on Thursday after Kentucky lost to South Carolina. Calipari has just been so good over the years, both at Kentucky and Memphis, in winning that next game after a conference loss. And that worries me and should worry Arkansas fans, because this wasn't going to be a team that overlooked Arkansas to begin with, but they've got that extra incentive, that extra fire that they're going to be playing with on Saturday afternoon. If you look at their offense and defense effective field goal percentage this season, it's top 35 in both. So they do it on both ends of the floor. In conference play, they have the best defense, they have the best effective field goal percentage, and the best three-point shooting in conference. Now, outside of conference, they haven't been so great knocking down threes, and you hope that quickly Hagens and Maxey miss a couple, and Arkansas's defense really hounds them. They also have a lot of size. They're 33 in the country in size. Arkansas, they're not 33 in the country.
Yeah, that's well put.
So that's about as easy as it gets with that. Richards, you got to get him in foul trouble early because he's really the gas that makes them go. I just think it's going to be a good game. I'd be shocked if Arkansas or Kentucky blew out either team, but I think Kentucky wins this one 72-66. I've never hoped more on this radio show that I'm wrong. I just got a bad gut feel in the pit of my stomach about this basketball game, Phil.
Well, I think it'll be an entertaining game one way or the other. Just don't storm the court if they win. Jason in Frankfort, Kentucky reminds us of this on the text line. He says that, and he lives in Kentucky, okay? He lives in Frankfort. Isn't Frankfort the state capital of Kentucky?
I think so.
He says, don't storm the court. It just feeds the BBN ego. Yes. Let me say, I had for a short time a friend who came from Kentucky, and everything was BBN this, BBN that. It is a fan base that can grind you down sometimes. They are. Is there an ego with Kentucky basketball nation? Absolutely there is. They don't want to lose, but they also want you to storm the court when you beat them, because it does feed the ego. This is the biggest game of the season for Arkansas until next Wednesday against Mississippi State. Don't storm the court. They're not number one in the country. They're not 1 through 5. They're not undefeated. They just lost to South Carolina, for crying out loud. You can't storm the court 4 days after a team loses to South Carolina, okay? So stay in your seats. Or no, don't stay in your seats. Just stand up, jump around, enjoy it, and act like you've been there. I know it's been 7 times since Arkansas beat Kentucky, but I do think it happens tomorrow. Let's not get a big fine for the school. Let's treat it like another win.
Apparently I'm getting ripped on social media for defending Dick Vitale, Phil. So,
you are?
Yeah. And on message boards, too. I'm getting texts from buddies that I'm getting plastered.
People want to hate on Dick Vitale for this and that. But I do I think he spoke the truth about the energy that Kentucky brings on the road. You can just see it by the attendance numbers. Again, you did not need Kentucky to sell this game out. There are 4 other sellouts.
And you know what's funny, Phil, is the same people that are ripping him on social media and through text are probably going to ask for his picture on Saturday. So,
of course they are. It's Dick Vitale.
No.
They want to be loved or they want to be hated. So he's one or both, okay? It's the same with Howard Cosell. Well, Ty, enjoy the game tomorrow. I'm seriously envious.
Be safe. Let me see that video of the shut the clock up.
We'll see if
Need
that
some
goes
video
down.
evidence of that.
We'll see. All right, for Ty, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.